Greetings, Earthlings. How are you today? Well, let me tell you that I recorded this video once already and then accidentally deleted it because I'm so very clever. So I wanted to bring some new content to my page and my channel, she says, by doing my makeup on camera and telling a story about the local area that I live in, folklore tales about the area that I live in, which is Surrey in the UK. As I said, I did this yesterday, so today I'm starting from experience, because yesterday when I watched the video back, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I've done a base face because I literally got through that story in half the time it took me to do my eye look, which was, you know, not great. So today we're starting from experience, which, you know, is always good. So it's a beautiful day outside. I'm in my living room. Curtains are shut because the light is just doing whatever it damn well wants, because, you know, the sun, you know, we've got to be grateful when we've got it in the UK, to be honest. So, you know, I can't complain. But it will go darker and lighter. But I have got 2 ring lights on. And I'm just going to crack on with an eye look that I did do yesterday, posted pictures of, went to edit the video and managed to delete it in the process. So I've got my foundation on, my eyebrows have been done, my eyelids prepped, I've got slight contour done, a light contour, and I have my under eyes are setting. So I wanted to tell you the story of old Mother Ludlum, which dates back to the 1700s, and the earliest recorded tale is by some geezer called John Aubrey in 1673. Now, I wrote that down and it's right there because yesterday I couldn't remember the geezer's name and I couldn't even remember the date. So we're literally just, you know, winging our lives here right now. So, old Mother Ludlum. Now, old Mother Ludlum was a woman who lived on the outskirts of the villages around Frensham, and she was like old, poor. She'd lost her home, so, you know, she's living dire straits, you know. So as we go through the story, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing green because I thought green, witchy coloured sort of theme. So I'm going to start with this green and then this green, and I might even put some yellow, who knows, we'll see, but I'll just try and show you. These are just palettes that I have off Amazon, and I love this one. It's my favourite. It's my go-to one. Right, so I'll try and remember to show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. If I start looking this way, it's because I have got mirror here, but today I've got it better placed so that you can actually see my face when I'm doing it. So, old Mother Ludlum. She was an old lady, lost her home, nowhere to live, was old, poor, and considered, you know, not greatly in those times. So anyway, she'd lost her home, and she was lucky enough to find herself a cave that was quite comfortable and big enough for her to live in. Now, the cave was, you know, cold and drafty in the winter, and it was, maybe I should bring that a little bit forward. It was cold and drafty in the winter, but it kept her nice and cool in the summer. So, you know, win-win. You've got to take those wins when you get them, babe. So it was a, you know, nice little cave. Now, she was known as a wise woman, but she was also known to, or thought of, to have healing powers. Now, being thought of having healing powers in those days led to people thinking that you were a witch. But not only was she thought of to have healing powers and be a very wise woman, she was also a lender. So she would, you know, she would always lend people things, and people went to borrow things off her all the time. She was always happy to help. I'm just starting off with the light green. Bloody hell, where was I? I've completely lost myself. So she was thought of as a wise woman, and who had healing powers. And let's face it, she was a wise woman. She was single, so safe from that we will. But so people would go to her cave. So because she was a lender and a wise woman, she became accustomed to having people come into her cave. Women would go, young and old, open up their hearts to her, bare their souls to her, and she would give them advice. Even men were said to go and take advice from old Mother Ludlum in her cave. So she got quite used to people turning up at her cave, and it was usually at night time, midnight, under the cover of darkness, not to be detected, and they would use the moonlight to light their path to her cave. So this is what she became accustomed to, and they would come and tell her their stories of woe and strife, and she would listen, and she would mix up a brew, an appropriate brew, lotion, potion, to whatever the specific needs of your issues were, sort of thing. Yeah. So that she would listen contently and brew, and by the end of that, she would say, what is it you would like to borrow? And so she would then give the person something to take away whatever the potion, lotion was that was required for the ailment, heartbreak, sickness, strife, whatever it was that they needed help with. And then all she asked was that they brought it back within 2 days, whatever it was borrowed, which was usually a ladle, a spoon, and sometimes even a small cauldron. So I'm just trying to go in with a bit of a darker green, but it doesn't seem to be as dark as I thought it would be. So yes, so that's what she would do, and then people would return her things 2 days later, as promised, and they would bring offers of thanks in the way of some fruit or some veg, some bread. My nose always runs when I'm doing makeup. It drives me absolutely bonkers. Eggs, bread, sometimes even a chicken, to say thank you as a gesture, a kind gesture, which, to be fair, I mean, the woman didn't have to pay any rent or any council tax. So this was a great way for her to make her grub. Yeah. I mean, she was working it. She was just hustling. She was doing her thing, and she was good at it. Because, she was doing her healing thing and not being hung. So, she could take those wins. And so that is how she made her keep and her grub and kept her cave over her head. Now, the cave is still there today. You can go and visit it. So it is well documented. There are pictures online that you can see of the cave. You can't get into the cave, but you can go to it. You just can't get into it. So this one particular night, the wind was howling. The rain was pouring down from the heavens, and it was cloudy, and it was just a really dismal night. And old Mother Ludlum was sat there in her cave, and she's thinking, no one will come tonight. It's far too dark outside. It's just not people ever to come see her. Do you know what I mean? So she wasn't expecting anybody to come and visit her. So she was just sat in her cave, probably mixing up a brew for herself for a change, and doing her thing. And all of a sudden, this will look horrific until I've finished, by the way. You'll be thinking, what is this girl doing to her face? Just wait. Just wait. All of a sudden, she heard a footstep on the gravel. or stony path outside of her cave. And all of a sudden, a shadowy figure appeared at the opening of her cave. And she said, come in, hello, come in. Come dry yourself by my fire. Well, how can I help you? And the shadowy figure stepped a little bit closer. She said, what is it you'd like to borrow? And the shadowy figure stood there and said, only in 2 words, your cauldron. And old Mother Ludlum was on. Which one would you like to borrow? And she turned to her shelves to see what one she hadn't lent out, already on loan. And he was like, I don't want any of those. I want your personal cauldron. Now let me tell you, the old Mother Ludlum did not like this geezer's tone. And so she was like, well, I'm very sorry, but you can't have that one. As she turned round, she said this. As she turned round, she stoked her fire. And as she stoked the fire, it spat. And it spat just enough to illuminate the visitor at her door. And there stood, on 2 legs, with a wiry, wild beard, and a somewhat impatiently whipping tail. Who do you think it could be? The devil himself. And she thought to herself, not even the devil himself would be out tonight, so she probably called this upon herself. Law of attraction and all that sort of stuff. What you put out there, you get back. So, be careful about those thoughts, people, because thoughts become things. And she did think that, and I forgot to say it because I'm winging it here. And this is not easy. She did think to herself, not even the devil himself will be out tonight. And was she wrong? So don't ever go be thinking that on a cold and wintry night. Yeah, just don't risk it. It's not worth it. Anyway, so he's illuminated now. She can see him. The devil is at the mouth of her cave. And she stood there. He was like, I want your cauldron. And she stood there. Her chest was tight and her heart felt like it was being crushed. But she managed to gather enough strength in her voice to tell him, in a stern a voice as possible, no, you are not having my cauldron. And the devil was furious, absolutely livid. If you can imagine a 3-year-old who's been told he's not allowed a bourbon biscuit. That level. So she said, no, you can't have that one. And he snarled and he was furious and he leapt forward, pushing the old woman out of the way, because clearly the devil's mother taught him no manners whatsoever. At this point, we can tell that. He pushed her out of the way and he grabbed the cauldron from the fire with both hands. Now, had he have been human, I'm telling you now, the skin and flesh would have been cooked right through. But the devil feels no pain. The devil feels no pain. So he grabbed it from the fire and he went to make off with it. And as he turned to run, to take 3 bounds, he lifted his foot, went to take the first leap, and as he did, the ground rose up to meet his feet, and not once, not twice, but 3 times he went and leapt, and the earth rose and met his hoofs as they hit the ground. And those lumps, mounds of earth are still visible today, and they're called the devil's jumps, and they're just outside of chat. So you can also go and see them. Now, I've put all that on. This is how I do my makeup. I'm not a makeup artist. I just do this for fun. Side note. So I whack it all on, and then I blend it all in, and it magically works. It's great. So he landed where what we now know today as Kettlebury Hill. So that's where he landed. And old Mother Ludlum stood there in disbelief at what's just happened. She's just had a bloody cave robbery. Someone's just burst into her cave, robbed her favourite cauldron, and has made off with it. And not only that, it's not just a person, it's the damn devil. She's like, oh my God, I was just not prepared for this today. You know, I was not mentally prepared for this. She was not. So she stood there and she thought, right, well, I can't be having this. I can't be letting this fella get away with this. No way. No way. Not today, Satan. Not today. She was not having none of it. Now, whether a wise woman or a witch, old Mother Ludlum did own a broomstick, and she was not afraid to use it. She grabbed her broomstick and she went out. Well, she got on her broomstick. She got on her broomstick side saddle, of course, because, you know, just because she's a witch doesn't make her any less of a lady. And she got out into the night sky, and the wind was howling still, and the rain was pouring, and visibility was just at this point 0, and she was just like soaked through within seconds. So she's, you know, she's going against the wind. She's soaked through. It's freezing cold. And something really strange happened. Suddenly, the clouds parted. The wind stopped. The rain stopped beating down. And the moon shone through. And she finally set eyes on her target. Now the devil was out there feeling rather happy and pleased with himself at his plunder from his cave robbery. And he was not expecting the ambush to come. And old Mother Ludlum then proceeded to lock eyes on her target, swooped down with almost SWAT team precision, grabbed her cauldron from the devil's clutches, and as she did so, he let out a huge shriek, an ear-bursting screech. He was absolutely livid. He was caught off guard for a start, and he was absolutely livid at this witch chased him down and managed to get her cauldron back from him. And so she flew off, and the devil was absolutely livid, and he stood there, and he's like a 3-year-old. He can't have a bob, and throwing his dummy out the pram, and he's smashing the earth up, and he's screaming and screeching and howling and growling and mangling the ground beneath his feet and punching it in. And one final blow to the earth, it opened up, and the devil fell in, back down to hell. See you later. See you later. Nice day. Have a nice day. So, old Mother Ludlum's like, I can't keep this cauldron now, you know. I can't keep my cauldron. I can't keep it safe. What if he comes back? What am I going to do? You know, I need to be able to keep this safe. I mean, imagine what he could do with all the healing powers and magic. And, like, she'd been using this cauldron for years. Imagine what he could do with the powers that are stored in its metal, within its, you know, its, you know. So she's flying through the air and she's thinking, what can I do? Where can I go to keep my precious beloved cauldron safe? And she decided that she had to take her cauldron to St. Mary the Virgin's Church in Frensham. She thought the people there would be able to keep it safe. I mean, being a church and all, she thought that was the best idea. So that's what she did. So she flew to St. Mary's Church, the Virgin's Church, and she took it there. And as she put it down, she gave it one last loving stroke and made off into the night on her broomstick. Just bear with me. I'm just blending. So you know, this woman's just been robbed, for one, this elderly woman. She's had her prized possession stolen, and now she's got to give it up. You know, this woman is not having a good day. You know, this is not, you know, a great day for our girl Mother Ludlum. Poor woman. So she puts it there, and she, you know, she wanders. She goes back off. And so the next day, the people of Frensham, they wake up and they go to their church, and they find this cauldron, and they're like, where has this come from, this huge pot? I mean, I don't know if they assumed it was a cauldron, but this huge pot had appeared. And they were like, where has this come from? And some of them speculated that it was from a gift from the angels. Some people speculated that it must have been the fairies. But nobody suspected that it would be our girl, old Mother Ludlum. Not one. Not one. So they kept hold of the cauldron, and they used it on their special celebratory days. They used it on their, you know, for handing out their ales and their wines and whatever on their celebratory days, their religious holidays. They you know, their get-togethers and stuff. And imagine all that healing that those people received from a witch without even knowing it. Because at this point, I think it's pretty clear to see that she's a witch. You know, wise woman, witch, same thing. So, you know, I cannot imagine that any of them woke up with a hangover. Let's just put it that way, shall we? From after drinking from this cauldron. So they kept hold of it, and it is still there today. The cauldron's still there today. It's still in the church. It's there for you to see. I don't think you can touch it, but you can definitely go and view it. So that's something you can also do, and you can also see it online. So what happened to our girl, old Mother Ludlum? Well, you know, this woman, she's been robbed. She's been cheated out of her prized possession. Was not expecting it at all whatsoever. So she's flown back to her cave. She's soaking wet. She's probably pretty, depressed at this point. Well, depressed, upset that she's just lost her beloved cauldron that she'd been using and putting all her love and care and healing into for many years. Those sorts of things are important to witches. The things that they use, especially when they've been, healing people with them and stuff like that. It's a really important part of a witch's kit, to be fair. So she's lost that. And so what does she do? She goes back to her cave. She takes off her cloak, stokes the fire because the fire is burning lowly now, and she needs to dry off and probably make herself a brew after all this, drama she's had for the evening. So she goes back to her cave and she's there. She stokes the fire and she takes a minute, takes a deep breath, thinks, to the gods, give me strength. Mother Nature, please help me. That's what I'd be saying anyway if I was there. And she turns around, she goes to her shelf, she grabs her second largest cauldron, and she starts again. Because what do you do when life throws you a curveball? What do you do when, the devil appears and steals your prized possession? What do you do when your livelihood's put at stake and you face ruin? What do you do? Well, the answer is quite simple, my dear. My dears, you dust yourself off and you start again. And I think really that's the moral to be had from that story today. So that is the story of old Mother Ludlum, and I'm clearly not finished with my makeup. So you will just have to sit and watch me do it for however long it takes. It won't take long, don't worry. I won't keep you for much longer. So that was the tale of old Mother Ludlum and her cauldron and her unfortunate run-in with the devil. I mean, what a night. God. Sounds like hell on earth. It's not something that I would particularly want to partake in. I tell you. No, thank you. I think life's hard enough. Thank you very much. Keep that well away from me. But what a woman. I think we got to give, you know, old Mother Ludlum some sort of like credit here, you know. She really did her stuff. She really rose up to that challenge. Almost took the devil by the horns, you could say. Near enough. But what do? You've got to fight fire with fire, haven't you? So I think we should give her a round of applause for that. I think she did amazing. So this is the eye look that is nearly finished. All I need to do now is probably just put a little bit more under the eyelids. Just, I don't know where I have this bloody camera on, where I should have it angled. I'm just going to put a bit more green on the bottom lid, just so that it blends it all together nicely. And I always put yellow with green because it seems to just like, it seems to always make it like just a little bit more bright and a little bit more oomph. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply my eyelashes, my fake eyelashes. And I love these eyelashes. These are my favourite ones. They're big and bold and in your face, and I'm not sure that you can see how big and bold they are, but they are big and beautiful, and I love them. They're my favourite ones. They're my go-to ones. So what I normally do from now is I would grab my eyelash curler, because my eye look is finished. I'm going to grab my eyelash curler, give them a little bit of a curl, because when you put fake eyelashes on, if you don't put a little bit of mascara on your natural lashes, it will show through. Well, they will show through when you apply the fake ones. So I like to, well, that's my experience. I am not a makeup artist. I should really be putting the glue on the lashes. The trick is with the glue and the lashes, it's taken me years to be able to get this going on, like being able to get these lashes on, not just these lashes, like any lashes in general. And the trick is when you put the glue on, you need to leave it. My eyelash glue is running out bad. I really need some new ones. You can get it in white or black, and you know, if you're doing a light coloured, it's nice to have black glue, because then you can put on a nice thick like eyeliner across the top of your lid, give you a bit more definition. So I think that's about as much as I'm going to get out of that. That should be enough. I'm really running out. I just want to put that on there while I do my eyelashes. So it's Friday. I did this video yesterday, and then because I downloaded like an editing app on my phone, and then I didn't have enough storage, I uploaded it before so I could put my little intro on, and deleted it. I deleted the video when I literally went through my phone, because I put it on there and it said, "Oh, you haven't got enough space." So I was like, "Damn it! I need to go and delete loads of like stuff." I'm a hoarder on my phone, like for pictures and stupid videos and stuff. I never delete anything, so I'm always having to mess about deleting stuff to add new stuff. And when I went back into the app, I'd actually deleted the video by accident. I actually have no idea how I managed to do that. So I've now had to do it again today, but I didn't want to leave it till next week because I was so impressed with myself for actually getting it done. And then, so I was really gutted when I realised that I had deleted it. So I'm literally just adding glue to my eyelashes, and then I'm going to recurl the other one. And my son's trying to walk past really quietly. You can just walk past, just go. It's fine. I'm just going to curl the other one like so, and I'm trying to do this really quickly. Well, I'm not, but I am. So give it a little curl and a little bit of mascara. I tell you what, I've also realised that I need to get some of those fake eyelashes for the under eye. The bottom eyelashes is what I'm trying to get out. While I'm waiting for that to do, I'm going to get my trusty little palette out with my trusty black brush. I don't use expensive products. You don't need to have lots of money to have, be able to create beautiful looks with makeup. Like the palette that I'm using right now just to darken up my contour is from Poundland. So that tells you a lot about me. But I was so impressed with the palette when I bought it that, as I think I said in the last video, I actually went and bought like another 4 or 5 of them so that I wouldn't run out. So that's that. I also like to put a little bit down my nose, which just to make the nose more pronounced. Obviously using the contour puts a shadow in, so it gives you the chance to shape the face. So you can make your nose look a little bit more defined using this. I have already used cream. I used the powder to set it in place so it doesn't fall off. And that's that. So then I'm going to apply, I think I'm going to apply the eyelashes now in case they go dry. Right, so this will be fun. Second time trying to do this on camera. So you want to get them as close to the eyelash line as possible. And also the trick is with fake eyelashes is when you put the glue on to leave them for a few minutes. I use clear glue. Well, it comes out white, but it dries clear, so you literally just push them on. And you can get little tools to do this with, but I just cannot, for the life of me, get on with them. So I'd rather do it with my fingers. And I don't see why that should be a problem for anybody. And that's that one. And then that's on. That's done. That's good. And then this one. Again, as close as you can. I really loaded these up with glue to make sure that they stick. And don't panic if it just takes practice, really, more than anything, to get it right. And then it is literally as simple as that. Sorry about that, just had to tell my son to be quiet. I had to pause the video. So that's that. Get it as close as possible. And that's that. Eyelashes are on. And I know you can't see them because it's dark. And I cannot get any more light to my face. Maybe if I open the curtains now. Whoa. Might be a bit better. Might be able to see it a bit better. So there we are. That's that. That's the eyelashes done. The eyeshadow look done. It won't be the same as the pictures that I posted yesterday. But there we are, because I'm a klutz and I did something really daft. So then just add a little bit of mascara to the lower lashes, and that is pretty much it, really. Might have to do a little bit more on those, because the thing is that when you put it on, you've got these huge big top lashes, and then your little lashes at the bottom are just like non-existent. So I like to try and put quite a bit on there, but it's really difficult because you don't want to screw up your eye look either. So eyeshadow is done. Face is nearly done. Right, so bottom one's done. I just remembered that I do still have the powder on under my eyes for setting. So I'm just going to grab my big brush and I'm just going to wipe the excess off. What I like about the setting powder is I use a translucent one, just translucent powder. But when you've put your foundation on under your eyes, to set it so like it stays, I use a translucent powder and then just brush it off, and that seems to help it stick. Then the last but not least is a bit of blusher, and again my trusty black brush that I just love, and very well used, very much loved blusher. I find it really difficult to find a blusher that I actually really like the colour of. I'm just going to put that into my cheeks, into the chubby parts, just to make them stand out a little bit. And then I don't normally like to go with lipstick. I'm not like a massive fan. Sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I don't bother. But when you've got a full face of makeup on, you know, and you don't do your lips, you just like, I should probably do something with my lips. So what I'm going to use, I'm just going to use a Vaseline, a pink Vaseline today, I think, because I don't think I've got my glossy little, I do. I've had this for ages. I don't even know what it is, but it's just like a little glossy stick. And then I'm just going to put some of that on. And I just remembered that I have forgotten to do my highlighter. So highlighter, that's that. Highlighter, wrong palette. Just on the top of the cheekbones, like that. Anywhere where you want to make it stand out, because the contour, brown contour, gives you the shadow, and the highlighter illuminates. So just a little bit at the end of the nose and up the bridge there, like that, because my nose is probably looking a bit dark. And normally also at the top of your lip is where I would put it, because when you put it on the top of your lip, it makes your lips look fuller. So there we are. So that is my look. That is my eyeshadow look. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think of the story. I'd love to hear your comments. I'm going to try and learn another story from a Surrey folklore tale and do another eyeshadow look and upload it. I'm sorry this has taken so long. I'm not a professional, so we're just winging it here. We're just winging it, baby. Just winging it. So that's me now. I'm going to go shopping, looking fabulous, and I hope you have a wonderful start to your weekend. I hope you have a very happy day. Stay blessed, less stressed, trust the process, lots of love. See you next time.